Right. Good morning, Nigerians. Welcome to Politics Hour, an intense political discourse brought to you. Can you hear me?
Yes, my brother, see what I will do. I will call you in 30 minutes. I want to don't go away. I want to respond to media.
We are live now, comrade. We are live at the program. Let's start.
Okay, yeah. So I was receiving a call from Sweden, so I had to.
Please, let's start the program, please. Let's start the program. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning.
We are live, comrade. Please.
I can hear you.
Comrade, please. We are live. We are live on YouTube. Please.
Okay.
Good morning, Nigerians. Welcome to. Welcome to Politics Hour, an intense political discourse brought to you by Diaspora Digital Media. Here we explore All right, good morning, Nigerians. Welcome to Politics Hour, an intense political discourse where we explore political events. All right, so I'm your host, Deutsch Raphael, and this morning we look into one of the most significant political developments in recent times, the emergence of the ADC coalition, a powerful alliance aimed at unseating Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressives Congress. And with us is no stranger to the political arena, as well as to civic action, Comrade Kennedy Yere, former Edo State governorship aspirant, humanitarian activist, renowned philanthropist, and social entrepreneur. We will be dissecting the motivations, the tensions, and the prospects within the ADC coalition, a political realignment that brings together notable names like Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Nasser El-Rufai, and Rotimi Amechi. I am glad to have you on this program, Comrade Yere.
Thank you, my brother. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, let us start. Let me start by asking you, what made ADC a preferred platform for this broad coalition, despite earlier plans to use a new party, the All Democratic Alliance, the other?
Well, very, very thankfully here. I'm grateful this morning that I'm here again to grant this interview. Well, the ADC has always been one party. I'm sure when it comes to forming a coalition, is always in the front line. For reasons I may not be able to establish here or affirm here, but I know in 2022, that was supposed to be the same platform that Peter Obi was supposed to run under. I think at that time, it was involving the SDP, the NRM, that is National Rescue Movement. And I am not too sure whether NNPP was supposed to be in that merger because of the Kwankwaso factor. But that negotiation actually collapsed at a point. So ADC was not used. It was based on that collapse of that supposed alliance or coalition that Peter Obi came to the Labour Party. So I'm sure for the gladiators who will always want to converge themselves, under a coalition, they should have a reason, better reason than we do know why the ADC is always their preferred party. But also, I am sure the Obasanjo factor plays a key role, because you can't talk about the ADC. Of course, anybody who is politically active and exposed is aware of the fact that the ADC takes its source from Obasanjo. Don't forget when Obasanjo, at a certain point in time, was against Buhari, he formed a national movement and actually picked ADC then as the party to be adopted for that. So it has been something that has always identified with the ADC. So the coalition now being formed under that same platform is not a surprise. Again, you must also know that ADC ranks among the old parties that were registered before the 2019 election. You know, I think it was during the 2019 election, a lot of parties came up. Yes, they were about 89, if not some more than, before INEC started registering them, when they could not clinch a seat, during that election. Except for that regulation, the regulation, of course, our people, we would have had up to 200 and something political parties today, because in Nigeria, everybody wants to start his or her own. So thank you.
Okay. Oh, I was muted. Do you think the ADC's current structure has the capacity to absorb and manage the ambitions of these powerful figures without imploding? Because we have the likes of Atiku, El-Rufai, Amechi, P2D. So these are powerful. Do you think it will absorb the ambitions of these figures?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly.
This is where I choose to differ. This is where I choose to differ. You know, when you were introducing me, you put, I think, a very significant title that represents who I am, a humanitarian activist. I am a humanitarian activist and a philanthropreneur. I really do not have it go down well with me whenever we say powerful figures. Yes, they are powerful because they have been in government. Some of them have been in government for like 41 years.
Okay.
Senator David
I can hear you now.
Can I repeat myself? Did you hear, or was I cut off before?
Yes, continue. I'm here.
Yeah. You asked a question regarding how these supposed very powerful political figures will be able to manage their ambitions under this party, under this coalition. It's like bringing too many skilled players into one team, where you will have now what you call power tussle. I foresee a collapse of the house unless you have a movement like CODEM coming to help them out. The people you refer to as powerful political figure or gladiators, they are powerful just because of the titles they have had before, or because of their political and social status. But when it comes to being powerful among the ordinary people, I'm sure they are not. Now, this is where they need a regulator and an equilibrium point that can only be created by an organization like CODEM. They are going to have conflict of interest. There's going to be a big fight as they progress. But how they manage their interest is what will determine whether the house will stay or stand or collapse. You have an article that wants to take the ticket. You have a Peter Obi that wants to take the ticket. You have Erotimi Amechi, who also wants to take the ticket. And I believe Erofai is not there to sit on the fence. You have a David Mark who may have his preference. You have Adegbeshola who may have his preference. And you know, based on how politics works, it is those leaders themselves that will pick whoever that they want to produce as their candidate. You see, who becomes the candidate of the party is the business of the political party and the owners of the party. So we pray they are able to manage their interests and not get too ambitious and not get too autocratic or domineering. If that happens, you will still see defections from this same coalition. Some of them will go back to the APC. Some of them will go back to the PDP, because these people you call powerful people do not have the capacity to build a small party, to become big. They revolve around the so-called two big parties. ADC, because of the coalition now, has emerged as a very big party. So those who left the APC, so a lot of people will still leave the APC now, coming to the coalition. And some will leave the PDP, coming to the coalition, because they believe we need a coalition. They will have a cover. They'll be able to get something for themselves to make them relevant. A lot of them has lost political relevance and value. So that is why this place is a common place for them to gather themselves together. For some of them who may not be able to survive on account of the fact that they are not giving what they expected to get from the coalition. Of course, you know how our politicians behave. Without shame, they will go back to the APC or the PDP. So responding to your question is simple. Can they survive? Can they manage their own interests and ambitions under this same roof, seeing that these are people that have had different positions in government? So the answer is straight. It depends on their level of desperation. For example, can Atiku stay if Obi gets the ticket? That is a very hard question. Can Atiku really stay there if Obi gets the ticket of the ADC? Then if Obi does not get the ticket, will Obi stand? Because we have other interested people who want to take the ticket, but there are two major people who are going for this ticket: Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi. Who gets the ticket? Now, what is going to be the power game that we actually ascertain or determine who gets this ticket? Will the process be transparent and accountable? Then for those that will fight the process, if not accountable, will they stay? And if they are not staying, where will they move to? That is why I'm looking at this coalition with a second eye. And that is why I told my friend, Dan Elumba, he's one guy I respect a lot because of his role he played, as a co-convener alongside Mazi Ezioke of Ijenje Media, co-conveners of the Peter Obi Support Network. We work together heavily and widely, doing everything we needed to do for Peter Obi and for the obedient movement. One thing you must know is that it's only an idiot that will not learn from his successes of the past and his failures of the past. We now understand better that it takes more than having just the number needed to win an election. So that is the reason why, there is a coalition. It's not time to start singing or start bragging about it that you will take power away from the APC. The question is, do you have people of like minds who will drop their selfish interest and ambition just because they want what they think they are bringing, which they consider to be better for this country than what we have now? Two, their intentions and ambitions and motives, how germane and genuine are they? To be very frank, I don't believe in any of these gladiators, but I believe in the civil society. I believe in CODEM. If CODEM is partnering with the ADC coalition, CODEM is the only face that they have. If you remove CODEM, who is there in the coalition that is coming to rescue this country? You know, I was on Zoom with you yesterday when some people were just saying whatever they wanted to say, and I was just laughing. It's a time to let them understand that it takes more than gathering the people to win an election. You see, experience counts, capacity counts, strategy counts, implementation counts, delivery counts, accountability counts. Do we have all this? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So CODEM is that faction of the ADC coalition that will give value to that coalition. If you are not careful, if you want to play by their rules, you will discover that the worst coalition ever to exist will be the ADC coalition. You don't have to play by their rules. If somebody who is chairing a coalition had been in government for 41 years and you didn't rescue, now you want to rescue, CODEM should be able to ask questions. Do you think if you just bring a Peter Obi to come and meet an Erufai, to come and meet an Amechi, to come and meet a David Mark, then Nigerians will forget now because Peter Obi is the one coming to meet a Malami. Nigeria will now forget that these people at one point or the other, severally, had governed this country and they didn't drive significant reforms. Or you think Nigerians will not have the brain to ask Peter Obi, what is he doing there? My brother, this is my final summary. The ADC coalition on its own is powerless. Forget the big names you are calling. It's a structure. But it's just like the body of a vehicle. And CODEM is the engine. If CODEM be the engine, are you there?
Comrade here, can you hear me? Comrade? Wow.
Hear you. Where are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I apologize.
I don't know what happened. The thing tripped off.
All right, let's continue the program. I was about asking you, how does the Nigerian public perceive the credibility of coalition leaders like Atiku, Obi, El-Rufai, and Amici? Are they seen as reformers or recycled power players?
Very, can you hear me?
I can hear you, speak up.
Very, very straight answer. Nigerians do not have confidence in those leaders. The only person they believe is genuine there is Peter Obi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You don't even you asking me the question, you know the answer. If you mention Atiku has been contesting for so many years, and he has not been elected president. The time he would have been president was in 2019. You knew what happened. Can you hear me? And Nigerian believes if he runs and he loses, he leaves Nigeria. And when it's time to start campaigning again, he returns. You know it. You asking me. Now, so many things. He had been in power. This country has been kind to him in different dimensions and ways. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Nigeria sees him as part of the problem we are facing today. That's the reality. He had been vice president for 8 years. He has been a big person in the customs for a long time. And when he was a VP, there were so many allegations of using the platform he was asked to coordinate to acquire properties that belong to the government under the privatization program. You know, you live in this country. Are you there? So
yes.
How do you think Nigerians will have confidence in somebody like him? If you want to talk of David Mark, a senator for 20 years, he was a senator, he's the Senate president of the 6th and 7th Assembly of the Nigerian Senate. Do you know what it means to be a senator for 20 years, from 1999 to 2019, and he happens, as we speak, to have been the longest-serving president of the Senate? What reforms did he drive? In what capacity has it even improved and or affected the lives of the people from his own constituency? He became the military governor of Niger State in 1984. 1984 till this day is 41 years. Is it now? You are telling me he will come and rescue? They have been part of the problems we are having today. The problem we're having today did not start with Tinubu. It has been accumulation of the failures of the past governments and political leaders, the acts of misgovernance. How do you think Nigerians will just believe that he has the capacity to do better? I think he's about 75 years. He started assessing political power when he was 34. 1984. Now, Nigerians will not, and they will never believe in him. Is he Amechi, a speaker for how many years? 8 years. Governor, 8 years. Minister, 8 years. All these portfolios are very boisterous and juicy and heavy capitalized. Is it now that what about Nasir El-Rufai, former FCT minister, former governor? This administration they listed him as a ministerial nominee, but he was not cleared. Otherwise, he would have been serving now as a minister. Is he Aregbesola, Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Lagos State? I'm not talking of Ebonyi State or Enugu State, Lagos. commissioner for works for that length of time. Adegbeshola has been in power since 1999. It's just that a lot of our diaspora people that speak grammar like they were born British people do not listen to people like us who have the capacity and the courage to divulge the truth the way it is without looking at whoever that is happy or not happy. If they don't listen to us, then they are contributing to this problem. Not when they sit on the internet. If you say something, they start fighting. I'm still coming. Adegbeshola, when he left office, he became the governor of Lagos State. 8 years. Something happened during his tenure. As at the time he was leaving, I was one of those who observed the election of Osun State in 2018. It was said widely that he was owing civil servants for 1 year. In fact, I know him personally. Personally, I brought an agricultural intervention program to that state, which he did not support to succeed, regardless of the fact that it was going to help the poor people of that state. Then when he left there, he became the Minister of Interior for 8 years. That man did not change Nigeria. Is that the man you are telling me, or you are asking me as a journalist, if Nigeria would believe that it's a credible person? Even you asking me, you don't believe in him. Now, Peter Obi now coming to the scene. Obi was the man I supported in 2019, in 2023. And no matter what anybody may have to say, anybody who works for Obi, you were active. We're not talking of the people who were on the internet, they joined later, they don't. A lot of them just joined without knowing why they just joined. For to them, they were enjoying that thing. If you want to talk of the people who made that obedient movement what it is, Comrade Kennedy Yere is a formidable name that nobody can forget. And Obi, in his mind now, knows Comrade Yere is somebody that gave him a lot of support. Leave that now. I supported him. I gave my everything. I gave my money. I gave my time. The only thing I didn't give to him is my family. No family like you. Okay, take my family I have given you, but my life was at risk. I traversed the length and breadth of this country. At a point, people were afraid that I would be killed. But at the end of the day, what happened? You saw the way that thing ended up. That was an election for us to win. But that election, no matter how you explain it, you won, you were rigged out. It's not enough excuse. One day, bring me to the studio and ask me questions and I will tell you, oh, I won, they rigged us out. When you have all the youths in Nigeria ready to fight for you, then how were you rigged out? My friend, the processes and the people were mismanaged. And if that is not corrected, let all of them be insulting me on the social media for coming on Arise TV to sell my mind, and a Rufai who never lifted his hand to even bring one person challenging me, let all of them be insulting me. They don't know that Comrade Yere, I'm coming. Comrade Yere is a man, no man born of a woman can intimidate. I'm a bold lion, I'm a fearless human being. Now, Obi was the man we supported because we looked at so many things and he was different from the people we saw in that contest. We brought him out. Obi had everything to win. Obi is not president today because of his inability to manage the people and the processes. Underline that. We talked about that the other day. So Obi is the person now people are believing has something to offer. After all, he has not been tested in a higher capacity before. He had just been governor of Anambra for 8 years. Then, based on the information I have, I can rate him 50%. I speak for myself. I speak for myself without apology to anybody. Hold on.
50% in Anambra State?
Yes, I speak for myself. But if you ask me to rate David Mark, Amechi, Adegbeshola, I will score them less than 10% over 100. So if the man who might score 50%, and I believe some people will score him 80%, 90%. It depends on what they know. Some people who are not close to him can score him 100%, even some 200% over 100. But for me, who have known him, I know what I will score him. Now, Obi, now coming to the coalition, for some of us who are pragmatists, I'm asking, Obi, what do you want to do with El-Rufai? What do you want to do with David Mark? What do you want to do with Aregbesola? What do you want to do with Abubakar Malami? You know that Abubakar Malami. You know what Abubakar Malami did in this country and to this country and to our people. What do you want to do with Nasir El-Rufai? If you win the presidency under the coalition, these are the same people you will work with. There is a problem somewhere. That is bringing his credibility, his sincerity, his art of being germane, and his own trustworthiness into doubt. For people like Omedi Yere, we are looking and saying, come, is it like a case of if you cannot be them, you join them? I want to tell you, if you come to power through corrupt means, you have nothing better to offer than perpetrating corrupt practices. Let's see how it unfolds. Obi is still the person we can say in the whole house now, like that coalition. People still have some level of trust in. But can you be the only saint amongst many other people who have had the opportunity to do well? They didn't even do well. And now we know, you and I know, that the coalition is only necessary because some people want to pay the president back for sidelining them. El-Rufai wants to pay him back because El-Rufai ought to have been a minister now. Aregbesola wants to pay him back for that fallout. Some of them are in that coalition to fight the president back. But I believe, I'm not supporting Obi, but I believe he's not there to fight the president back. I believe he's there to look for a platform to run and win to become the president of Nigeria. But that whole coalition is not a credible platform looking at the people that put that coalition together. The question you ask me is, if Nigerians, seeing the caliber of people, the kinds of people, the high-profile people that have converged themselves, that have brought themselves together to become the drivers of the coalition, if Nigeria will have, or Nigerians rather, will have confidence in them, my answer is a bold NEO in capital letter no. Looking at their antecedents, looking at the positions they have had, looking at how they have not even impacted their people, looking at how, when some of them were governor, go to their states. Nigeria is a country where you still have, it's happening today. A governor will tar road for the people with the people's money, and the governor is paying a lot of money to the media stations to begin to showcase one road and they can shamelessly bring that road to be televised and be shown on Arise, on channels, on AIT, on TVC. The money that they have used to build one small hall, if you now calculate how much they have used to sponsor some programs on TV just to showcase the small halls that they built, you discover that the money they have spent advertising that small hall will even be enough to build 2 more of such halls. The very essence of governance is not infrastructural development. First, the welfare of the citizens and their security. How many people among these people that have said, can you tell me what David Mark Foundation has done post-election, post-public service, social impact creation as former president of the Senate and as someone that has actually been in the National Assembly as a senator for 20 years? What about Amici? What about Aregbesola? It's just that they think that Nigerian youths are stupid, and that's what we'll never allow to happen. Like I said to you, nobody believes in them and in their ability to make a change. But CODEP is the only channel that can give them that little avenue to be trusted by the Nigerian people. Are you getting what I'm saying? And now, let's see how it plays out. But Peter Obi should know that you can't bring a chicken to exist amidst scorpions without being beaten by those scorpions. You grow up in this country, you know what adages and proverbs mean, right? We are still watching to see how come these people have now become people Nigerians can trust, looking at their antecedents, even when we know what they are into is just to have a platform to fight back. And do you know, if behind closed doors, these people are called by the ruling party that they want to remove, and they are able to now actually settle their scores or their differences, they will shamelessly still not even be for the coalition. Nigerian youths should wake up and be able at this point in time to realize that the political redemption of this country lies on their shoulders and not on the shoulders of these cabals, these elites. These people, where are their children? Where are their families? They have bought over this country. They don't feel what you feel. No hunger in their houses. They have cars they have not driven for the next 1 year under tarpaulins. And the least value of these cars is about 50 million. They don't feel what you feel. They are only trying to use Nigerians now collectively as their special purpose vehicle, SPVs, towards reclaiming their lost political relevance. That is what they want to do. We don't believe in them. Thank you.
Comrade. All right, thank you very much. But do you think that P2B has realistic chances to claim the presidential ticket in the ADC? And who are you rooting for? Because you said that you're not supporting P2B, and P2B, you have also acknowledged that P2B is the most credible candidate in the ADC. So who are you supporting for, and what chances does he have in clinching the presidential ticket in the ADC?
Let me tell you the truth. Do you want to hear the truth?
Speak.
Peter Obi will not and will never get the ticket of the ADC. In fact, I have your number. After this interview section, call me or I call you. We are going to bet. When we bet, I will bet a bigger money. In fact, if I will give you 1 million naira through Daniel Lumba. Then if he doesn't, if he glitches the ticket, you will tell me, I'm saying here now that if the coalition gives Peter Obi that ticket, Comrade Yere will give you to Chuku 1 million. I think they are recording us. So keep this. Peter will not get that ticket. Yeah, you see, hold on, let me explain now. Okay. Let me explain. You know, a part of the reasons you ask me why am I not supporting Peter. See, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my time. Hold on. I don't want to waste my time. I wasted 4 years of my life. From 2020 to 2023, 4 years of my life, mobilizing towards 2023. I was the first person to boldly advocate for Igbo presidency. Go and find out from the people you still know in the Middle Belt Forum, Pandev, Afenifere, Igbo Elders Consultative Forum. Honestly, the Igbo people resisted me, fought me, because they didn't even believe that an Igbo song can become that widely accepted by Nigerians. I don't want to talk about that. Today, we are insulted all over the social media when we say what we know. Some children who do not understand, who cannot even pay their transport to the polling unit, they will be insulting people like me that gave their money and risked their lives. Now, I don't want to waste my time and my energy and my money anymore. Let me tell you one of the things I said yesterday, which some of you obedience, you know how obedience came about. Peter didn't form it. We formed, gave it to him, named it after him. Leave that now. This is how Peter would have fared better. Peter would not even have joined the coalition. What Peter ought to have done was to have settled his cause with the Labour Party and go back to the people he offended and plead with them to come back and help him to build that structure they once built for him. After the election, I was the only person before the election who resisted Peter Obi when he was not doing right and where he was not doing right. A lot of people who thought, oh, you were too confrontational, you were too bold, all came to beg me one after the other. After what happened, happened. After the election, I approached Peter. And I said, Peter, at times you win, at times you lose. One mistake you must not make is to allow the dismantling of this obedience structure we have created for you. Keep in touch with the people. Firm up this structure. 4 years is not 4 million years. 4 years from now is not 4,000 years. If Peter had listened to that, Peter would have been the only coalition. The only coalition that would have just been there intact and would have given a good fight in 2027. Now, let me tell you this. What makes you think a David Mark will not give an article ticket and will give it to Peter? What makes you think an RFI will support Peter more than Atiku? What makes you think Aregbesola will do same thing? When it comes to, have you checked the antecedents of Atiku? Atiku is a veteran when it comes to forming coalitions, muzzling up the whole system and collecting the tickets. Atiku will take the ADC ticket. Let Peter Obi now start thinking of his next move. He should have a plan B if he actually wants to be in the race. I said so without looking at anybody's face. And another thing you must say also is this. Come. If that coalition was a coalition where people would set aside their selfish desires, if it was really a coalition created to build, okay, you could have been a bad governor, a bad speaker, a bad senator, a bad Senate president. Maybe you just realize, oh, I have not done my people well. Let me correct the ills I created. Let me correct my wrong. As long as I still have my life. Yes, if these people were like that, they would make sure that who emerges as their candidate is the person that the people wanted. Have you been conducting opinion polling, and what have you been seeing? That a lot of people, the last one I saw, 83% is saying give it to Peter Obi. But let me tell you, the coalition will not. The coalition needs money to run the campaign. Who will bring the money? The primary of the ADC will be highly monetized. Highly monetized. It is going to be a game of the highest bid that takes it. It is not going to be different from other primaries they do in other parties. It will never happen. So, my friend, Peter will not clinch that ticket. So what he should do smartly now is to, one thing I like, call it arrogance, call it pride, call it anything. Comrade Yere will speak his mind. I am not here to say what you want to hear or what your members want to hear. Like yesterday, a lot of them were speaking from Germany, from the UK, drinking British tea and talking to me a street boy, a street man, a man that is navigating across the length and breadth of this country, mobilizing youth. You are sitting down in one British bungalow, speaking with the tone of a white man, talking to me, Peter. Let me tell you, I don't want to waste my time. They won't give him that ticket, and a stitchy time saves 9. If he seen this, are you hearing me?
Comrade, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I want to ask this. If Peter Obi does not get this ticket, could this fracture the coalition or spark a mass defection?
Definitely. Yes, definitely. I'll tell you what will happen. Yes. Yes. The coalition, that coalition is a carcass. It's a, you know, when you kill your trap catches an antelope, then you didn't know. The antelope dies. Then you see the carcass. That is what this coalition is. Now, the people you call the heavyweights, forget when they enter Lagos, a crowd will meet them. Forget when they enter wherever they are from, a crowd will meet them. The crowd might just be meeting with them because the crowd is still believing they are coming with something better. And you can never also be too sure that they were not hired. Anything is possible with these people. Let me tell you, a lot of people tweeting now, insulting people like me for speaking truth to power and for being bold enough to divulge the truth the way they are. Those of them who are, you know, they tweet before they reason. They are doing all these things, coalition everywhere because of Peter Obi. By the time, see, Obi, let me tell you my prediction. Obi will not even stay till the primary. I am giving you my prediction. The activities that will happen before the primary will reveal to him that he will not claim the ticket. He may exit like he did in the PDP. In case you don't know, I look at these boys today insulting me on the internet. I was part of those who pushed Peter Obi out of the PDP. If you knew what I did behind, forget about that now. Now, the activities leading to the conduct of the primary will have proven to Peter Obi and his allies that he won't get that ticket. Then it will be left for him to wait till it happens before leaving, or he leaves before. But definitely, the exit of Peter Obi will massively affect the coalition. That's the truth. I told you I'm not supporting him. But I'm telling you the realities that a lot of people have reason to believe in the coalition because they believe that, okay, they can support Peter Obi there. Now, that is coming up before somebody like me will come with my own movement. You know, people have been insulting us. When the time comes when we know who owns Papa's land, leave that. But Peter's exit from the coalition will alter the plans of the coalition, will alter the structure of the coalition. Then the question is, if Peter is going to leave the coalition, having known the chances he has of clinching that ticket is 20 to 80 between him and Atiku. Why do you have to wait till when it happens? When you have the time now to either leave for another platform and be building that platform. And the best advice I still have for him is go and settle the problem you have with the Labour Party. If you cannot fix Labour Party, is it Nigeria you want to fix? When I make such a statement, some of the internet rodents supporting him will start attacking me. But the truth is that facts are always constant. You meet them, either you agree or you don't agree, But when it happened, the facts remain facts. I do not want to waste my time. Peter will not get that thing. And I'm not supporting Peter because there are so many things that need to be corrected. If you do election today, now, as we are now, you are interviewing me today. Today is 14th of July, 2025. If you conduct election today that involves Asiwaju, Atiku, and Peter, Peter will still not win. He will still not be sworn in for reasons that I know of. There are so many things wrong with the way he manages people and processes, with the way he manages his allies and his heroes. You can imagine a man like me who was his warlord. And on the platform, somebody like Rufai will be attacking me. Obi will not come out to say, no, that guy, he made many things possible for me. That is what Asiwaju cannot do. That is what even Atiku cannot do. My dear, leave matter. My own is to work for a better Nigeria. You know what I want to do? Whoever I'm supporting, I will reach a social contract with that person. And that is what I want them to do with the coalition. If you remove them from that coalition, the coalition is dead. Thank you.
All right. You said earlier that the people I mentioned earlier, the names I mentioned, Atiku, El-Rufai, and Nasser and Amechi, these people have been the old conventional politicians we have always known that destroyed Nigeria. But they are in the coalition, the ADC, and ADC, COPDEM was the first civil society organization that had a connection or entered into an alliance with the ADC. So if eventually one of these figures, aside P2B, emerges as a presidential candidate, do you think that COPDEM will still align with them or root for the person, the candidate?
You know, COPDEM is pro-Obi now. COPDEM is pro-Obi. COPDEM will not stay. See, COPDEM will not stay in the coalition if Obi is not getting the ticket. You know that very well. You know, that's where I'm different. You know, why? You know, when media stations want to hear the truth, they will call Comrade Yere to come and say something. See, the grace to divulge the truth is not available to everyone. Some people are lily-livered people. They're chicken out. They're afraid of whatever. Comrade Yere is a lion that is bold and I'm fearless. And I say what I want to say. Call it pride, call it arrogance, call it insolence. I don't care. The truth is that so long as I live, God has given me the grace to look at you in the eyes and tell you, my friend, your mouth is smelling, because your mouth is smelling. And if it's not smelling, I won't say no such thing to you. Call them. According to what I heard from my friend, Professor Chris Wankobia, Cordell was the one that midwifed the coalition into being. You know, when your wife, I don't know whether you are married, but when your wife wants to give birth, you take your wife to the hospital. A midwife will come and midwife your child into existence, and midwife your wife into safe delivery. Call them midwife the coalition into being, into existence. And that is why you should not play the role.
Comrade.
Can you hear me? That is why, can you hear me? That is why, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, speak on.
That is why you must not take a side position. You must not take side position, rather. You must be the one.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you must be the one now to dictate the flow of things. If I was CODEM, I will caution against a monetized primary. Make it a primary that, if you say you want to rescue this country, do you know one of the ease of our electoral process today is a highly monetized primary. A highly monetized primary is the reason people cannot become candidates. Point of correction, When next you are introducing me, I was not an aspirant. I was a candidate. I won my primary.
Well, I think your line is breaking.
Can you hear me now?
Comrade?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm here, but I'm talking. You cannot hear me. You cannot hear me.
I speak on. I can hear. I can hear you clearly. Speak.
Yes.
I can hear you speak.
That's what I'm saying. I am saying to you that Podem midwifed the coalition into existence. So for that reason, Podem should give the coalition what we call rules of engagement. Podem should warn the coalition against a highly or heavily monetized primary. Are you hearing me?
Comrade.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Comrade, can you hear me?
Very clearly, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Comrade Kennedy.
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Comrade.
Yes, but you are not able to hear me.
Comrade, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yes, I hear you now. Speak.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Speak. Speak.
So I said,
yeah.
Call them. You are here. Can you hear me? Yes. What is there to eat?
Comrade Kennedy.
Yeah, can you hear me? There is soup now.
I hear you now. You can speak. Speak. Continue.
I said,
go on from.
I said, call them midwife. Call them midwife. The coalition into being. I learned it was Coden that brought up the idea of the coalition. So if that be the case, Coden should take the lead and not take the backstage. They should have a say and outlined conditions, and the conditions under which they are ready to work with the coalition. Because if you separate Coden from the coalition becomes ineffective. Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Okay.
One of such conditions should be
I can hear you.
One of such conditions should be that the primary should not be monetized. They should make it, if this coalition is actually here to rescue Nigeria, they should do an open primary where no one is favored. And they should make it open such that Coden will be part of those that will draw up the delegates list of those that will vote. That is the only way Obi can have a chance. Otherwise, he has no chance. He stands no chance. And when Obi leaves, Coden will leave. Let me tell you what that does to the credibility of even now both Coden and Obi. It will also affect you people because you have thinkers like me who have the capacity to drive youth massively across the country and stand to negotiate. You have done your own with the ADC coalition. Do you know who I'm going to do my own with too? But I am just issuing this advice because I am also supposed to be part of CODEM. Yes, any civil society that will protect and defend democracy, Comrade Iyere is part of it. A lot of your people within CODEM, I'm not talking of those from the diaspora. I'm not talking of those that will attack people like me from exile. I'm talking of real people who know the people that have grassroots capacity to drive massive youth mobilization and women mobilization. That's where I fit in. CODEM should make sure they are not just used as puppets. They should have a say. They should have the power to contribute their quota to every decision that should be taken, and they have power also to veto any decision that is not working in defense of democracy and a transparent process. Thank you so much. Did you hear me?
All right, now let me ask you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, what are you asking? Please give me tissue. What are you asking? Bishop. Where are you? Make we see. Come out. That place when we meet Bishop Susan that day. Come there by one. From, huh? Yes, come from there. We will go there. Mm. It's okay.
Comrade Yere.
What is happening to your connection today? I have not had this type of interview before. You are cutting my flow. You know, to make speeches, when I'm high in spirit, you will be cutting it.
So I apologize for the network hitch. I apologize. I was thrown off balance. But I think you have spoken eloquently and elaborately on the ADC coalition. I just want you to give your last words, your advice for the coalition in order for it to become a formidable opposition platform to unseat the ruling party. What are your final thoughts?
Okay. When you use the word unseat the ruling party, the question, I think a time, maybe when we have time to talk again, you know, they will always form are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you, Speaker.
They will always form a coalition to unseat the ruling party. Buhari's government unseated Jonathan and didn't do better than Jonathan. They want to unseat this ruling party. They should be able to tell Nigerians how they intend to do that. It starts with a manifesto. Let's see the manifesto. But I like a healthy rivalry. I don't like when we are doing an election, you just know who is going to win because there is no healthy opposition. So ADC is saying they want to be a very competitive opposition. And then people who had a fallout with the incumbent government, they decided now to come together. They want to use the youth of Nigeria and the voice of the youth as their own cheap opportunity to grab power. The question is, after grabbing power, for example, if possible at all, will they do better? If you live in this country, I can mention governors who became governors because God used people like me to put them there. Today, we don't talk to them. They don't talk to us. I don't believe that these old cabals can ever change. But I believe the youths can make a difference. Are you here?
Yes, I can hear you.
I believe Codem can compare them to make a difference. Do you know why I'm able to be bold to say I'm not supporting Obi? And nothing happens to my conscience, nothing happens to me. It is because if Obi tells himself the truth, and if the people who are with him could tell themselves the truth, Comrade Yere was one very strong ally, not just one very strong, a major ally. Nobody can deny that. And that's why Rufai was talking trash that day. I gave it to him in a very arrogant way too. My dear, Codem is the final, my advice to you people as the drivers of Codem is that a platform you midwifed or bettered into existence should not be left in the hands of the so-called superweights. If you leave it in the hands of the so-called superweight, the coalition will remain a carcass. But if you drive it, if you take the lead,
all right.
The movement we have the attention of a lot of people, and they will see a need to believe that they will be different. Thank you so much.
All right, that's where we draw the curtain on Politics Hour. Comrade Kennedy Yere, former Edo State governorship aspirant, humanitarian activist, renowned philanthropist, and social entrepreneur. Thank you for your insights. Comrade.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother. Thank you for having me.